Hello, good morning. My name is Daisy Rojas. Today I'm going to talk about the wine production process, focusing on the main stages from harvesting to bottling. Wine is considered an alcoholic beverage produced through the partial or total fermentation of grapes. Other fruits and plants such as berries, apple, cherries, dandelions, elderberries, palm, and rice can also be fermented. The cultivation of wine grapes for the production of wine is called viticulture. Harvested during the fall, wine grapes are observed to range in color from pale yellow to hearty green to ruby red. Wine is made in a variety of flavors with varying degrees of sweetness or tannins, as well as alcoholic strength and quality. Generally, the strength, color, and flavor of the wine are controlled during the fermentation process. Wine is characterized by color white, pink or rose, and red, and its alcohol content is measured to range from 10% to 14%. Wine types are divided into four broad categories: table wines, sparkling wines, fortified wines, and aromatic wines. Table wines are included in a range of red, white, and rose wines. Sparkling wines are included with champagne and other bubble wines. Aromatic wines are composed of fruits, plants, and flowers. And fortified wines are prepared as table wines with brandy or other alcohol added. In regions like California, which produce more than 90% of the grapes in the United States, massive harvest of French is carried is mechanical harvesters. Grapes are collected and are taken care of by these machines. Thanks to calibrated vibration systems and cursing, resin tries each branch is detached with all its fruit regions, named or a single laterally falling. The roots are moved through slowly by the machine. The trunks are vibrated slowly, and the grapes are collected with a soft trays that are deposited on internal conveyor belts. The fruit is checked by optical sensors to ensure its optimal point. Everything is hand harvested into small protecton log boxes. The boxes are rolled into winery, are weighed, and they are placed into a cold room. At that point, processing is begun. Sorting is done by hand or mechanically using equipment designed to remove wanted material. Protecton bin is dumped on the table, and the courses are hand spanked before to 6 people, after which the fruit is determined. Some fruit may be left whole clusters, which are then dumped into the tank. Minimal crushing of the berries is aimed for having whole berries allows a carbonic maceration effect, where the berries are broken down and specific strawberries and grassy high flowers are herculaceae, which are considered rare present in the wine. The fundamental difference between red wine making and white wine making is explained by the fact that with the wines, the juice is separated from the skins and sits before fermentation. For red wines, a bladder or perfume's press is often used, which is inflated from one side of a latch tube, pressing the grapes against a channel screen. And then the juice is straight from the press. White grapes can be whole branch, pressed, or they can be crushed or stained before pressing. Once the fruit is processed, the juice or must transferred to fermentation vessels, which come in variety of size and may be made of stainless steel, wood, or concrete. For red wines, two different techniques are used. Stainless steel open-top fermenters can be used, and some wood open-top fermenters are also employed. The size and material of the vessels impact the temperatures of fermentation. In primary fermentation, sugar is compared to carbon dioxide and alcohol. In general, the amount of alcohol is measured to be about 0.6 times the level of sugar that was brought into the winery. Heat is produced by fermentation in a range of temperatures. Throughout the process can be observed to impact the flavors of the resulting wine. With the red grapes, a lot of heat is desired early the fermentation to start color and tannin into the wine. Lower fermentation temperatures are preferred by some people to extend the fermentation or to keep the wines more on the fruity side. White wine fermentation are observed to reach peak temperatures in the 80 or low 90 Fahrenheit. As the sugar is converted into alcohol, the juice is receded from the grapes, and all skins are lifted to the top of the 10B carbon dioxide that is being produced. Once fermentation is complete, the new wine is drained off the skins. This free-run wine is often considered higher quality than new wine obtained from pressing the skins. A secondary fermentation, called metabolic fermentation, is sometimes performed, particularly in white wines. Allevage is defined as a period of time after fermentation before a wine is bottled. Generally, for red wines in barrels ferment, white wines, this time spent in barrels where the wine may be straight, racked, or topped, among other treatments that can be performed in barrels. Depending on the wine style, this period can last anywhere from a few months to several years. Historically, barrels were considered merely vessels to allow wine to mature. After fermentation, access to oxygen is considered the biggest enemy of wine. White wine might benefit from a small amount of oxygen. For most wines, protection from excessive oxidation is achieved with the addition of sulfur oxide. Sulfur dioxide is used as preservative in wine for hundreds of years. Sulfur dioxide can be at the various points through the winemaking process, depending on the condition of the fruit and style of the wine. Filtration is performed to remove sediment, yeast, or bacteria from wine. In some cases, when the wine is considered really hazy, a real-life filtration is applied to clarify the wine and improve its taste. Sometimes filtration is done simply to achieve wine stability. The wine bottling process is a very important step in wine production. First, the wine is filtered to remove any impurities. Then, the bottles are cleaned and are stirred to make sure they are safe for use. After that, the wine is filled into the bottles by a special machine. Once the bottles are full, they are sealed with corks or caps. Next, labels are placed on the bottles to show important information, such as the brand and the year of production. Finally, the bottles are packed into boxes and are transported to different stores where they are sold to customers. Thank you for your time and attention.